Notts County Talk. It's finished. Notts County 2, Bromley 2. I think that is going to be a game again that splits opinion. There's a lot of positives in there for me. Or maybe not a lot, but there's some positives in there for me. But there's also a couple of niggles as well that seem to be reoccurring, which is frustrating. But I don't feel as disheartened as what I normally would be coming away from a game where we take the lead twice and then we've come away with a point, especially at home. So, in that respect, frustrating. But I'll be honest with you, going into this game, I wasn't expecting a lot anyway. I know that probably sounds harsh, but I think Bromley are just that side that we've always sort of struggled to deal with. We've had the odd result against them, I know that, in the past. But they, as you would have seen if you watched the paper's perspective on Thursday, the fan that came on from Bromley was sort of saying this is the first time that we'll come to Meadow Lane and be sort of wanting to win and sort of half expecting to win. So I think when you sort of put those sort of things in the balance, it's not an awful result. I think the problem that we have, from my perspective, is it feels like we're not the finished article at the moment, and you've got clubs that are coming to us and we're going to that look to be fairly, well oiled. I think Bromley, not the usual stuff. I mean, to score a header from a set piece against Bromley, it's good going. They're a team that are going to defend well, try and frustrate you, and I thought we countered that quite well today. So that's sort of the positives, and I've sung his praises since the first pre-season game against Alfreton that I saw him play in. Dennis is an absolute shining star. I cannot give the guy enough credit. The first goal, he sort of does so much work on his own to sort of make that goal. The second goal, like I've already mentioned it, haven't I? To score a header from a set piece. It's good going anyway for Notts, but against Bromley, where they're a big side, they're a physical side, and they defend well. So I can't give him enough credit for that. I think he's made things happen for himself today, and I think that's what we have been lacking. And he's when Jata is back, he's made it difficult, I think, for him to be dropped. I mean, how do you drop Dennis at the moment? I think I looked towards the end of the game, and I'm sure he's top goal scorer in the league at the moment. I know it's early days, but honestly, I think he's a fantastic signing. In saying that, I do think we need somebody else. I think we need another striker at the club. I'd be tempted to say I think we might need another defender as well. I'm not 100%. There's a few errors in there for me today, from the defence that we just need to keep simple. I'm thinking a few times where I'll draw free. I think he's given the ball away a few times. And McDonald, he's obviously been instructed to go long a few times, but every time he's sort of gone long, it's not pulled off and it's not worked, and we've lost possession from that. So those are the sorts of things that I'm thinking about. And Roos as well. Is a funny one because he doesn't play the full 90 in the same way. He'll have moments where his distribution's okay and it's good, but then he also has those moments where his distribution is poor. And we have to be careful because there is going to be moments this season where that is going to cost us points, and we can't really afford for that to be the case, I don't think. So we've got to be careful, and we've got to brush up on that a little bit, definitely. We seem to have reined in playing out from the back as much. We do it a little bit, but not as much as we used to. We're seeing us go along a lot more, whether that be down to the sort of short passing accuracy of maybe the defence and the goalkeeper. I'm not sure. But as a fan that might not have been at the game today, you look at the statistics and it looks like a fairly even game. I even think Bromley had more shots than we did. I think Bromley registered 10 shots and we registered 8, both having 3 on target. So I think on the swing of things, I think Notts had 56% possession as well. So it's a fairly even, balanced game as far as the match statistics go. So I think 2-2 is probably a fair reflection of what we saw. I think the last 2 games are some really good building blocks. Beating Shrewsbury, who we've mentioned, they're not the best side in the league. We know that when they didn't show as much quality, but you can only beat what's in front of you at the end of the day, can't you? And today, I was actually really daunting. I found the game daunting today because I just feel like we always struggle against teams like this. You know, me and Tom sort of referenced Barrow and Bromley to be similar teams, and we have, you know, we struggled against Barrow, but I thought we showed a good stead against a difficult side to break down and score against today. But look, all that credit has to go to Dennis. And don't get me wrong, the delivery, you have to give some credit as well for the set piece goal to Matty Palmer. You know, it's a great delivery. It was right on his head, and he sort of just has to do the finish then into the far post. But yeah, and something I found interesting as well, sort of we're 5 league games now into the season, and it's looking like we are changing the way that we play. Well, obviously, like I've already mentioned about not passing out from the back, going long a little bit more. It's like we're trying to adapt the way that we have been playing for so many years under this ownership to sort of be a bit more rugged and sort of League 2-esque, if you will. So I think we're going to have teething issues because the majority of the squad that have been here from last season will be used to sort of that passing, slow build up and things like that, where we're sort of switching that on its head a little bit, aren't we, and sort of changing our approach. So those things are going to take time. It can be frustrating. I found it, especially the first few games, it has been frustrating, and I'm frustrated today. I'm not devastated. I don't feel absolutely gutted that we've come away from today's game with 1 point, especially when, like I said, we've been in the league, in the lead. But you can almost see, I think, shoots of an identity forming that is different to what we've noticed, which is why it felt like, I think, that we have lost our identity a little bit. So that's going to be interesting to see how that develops. Like I said, I think the issue we have is we're not the full finished article, and I think that's why we're not seeing it come into full fruition at the moment. Without a doubt, we need to start creating more chances, but I think off the bench especially, we have so much more quality to be able to bring Bennett on to sort of stretch it a little bit, and then we're bringing Hall on. The sort of list goes on. I think the bench is strong. The first 11, is sort of getting there. It's clicking into place, and I know we're 5 games in now. It should have already clicked into place. I agree with that, but we're not, and that's just where we are at the moment. And I think we're 1 or 2 bodies short, to be honest with you, for really sort of being where we want to be, because we have to be challenging this season. We want to be building, year on year on where we have been and where we are. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to know what you guys think, watching at home or watching along, wherever you may be. I think my short assessment is it's not the best. It's definitely not the best. We're not quite there yet, but you can sort of see an identity forming, can't you? You can definitely see where we're going with things. I think I could be wrong. It could flip on its head this time next week and I'm completely wrong, but I'd love to know what people think. I mean, at the end of the game, the fans clap the players and the management off, which we tend to do every game unless it's really bad, but there felt like an air of content. I don't know if that's just me maybe just thinking my own opinion is sort of everyone else's opinion, but I would love to know what everyone watching thinks. There's always splits opinion. Like I said at the start, I think it is going to be one of those games and performances and results that splits opinion, because so much has changed and the style has changed and things like that. There's been so much that's changed over the summer. It can be quite a lot to get used to. But that is it for the video, really. If you think I've missed anything out from the game that you think we're talking about, put it in the comments and we'll discuss it from there. Like I've already said, let me know what you think. Look, we're 5 games in now. Patterson has got 5 more games to sort of show us where he's at, and you can sort of see maybe a bit of a tidier trajectory coming towards sort of the 5-game mark. We're looking a little bit better than we were at the start of the season, but time will tell. Let me know if you've enjoyed the video by dropping us a like. If you don't already, please do subscribe, and thank you for watching.